Welcome back to the channel once again, Starseekers, where today we're going to be taking a look at Clockstone Studios' latest Bridge Simulator game, which this time is set in the Walking Dead universe. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bridge Simulator series of games, they're basically physics-based simulation puzzle games which see you constructing bridges and other structures from materials such as wood, steel and ropes in order to complete each level's objective. In Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead, you're going to be guiding a bunch of survivors through these levels, killing zombies and collecting supplies as you go. Now, I had never played a Bridge Simulator game prior to playing this one, and I wasn't a huge fan of The Walking Dead, so I was interested in seeing how the developers were going to cater for players such as myself, and whether prior knowledge of the game and its TV series would be necessary to keep me entertained. So without further ado, let's get into this review, take a look at what's on offer, and see how well things went for me. So the game's story sees you following a bunch of survivors making their way across zombie-filled areas as they gather supplies and attempt to find some sort of safe haven. Along the way they encounter a number of different characters, including some that the fans of the Walking Dead series will no doubt recognise, although the only one that I knew was Daryl. Getting into the game itself then, the first chapter essentially acts as the game's tutorial. First it teaches you a little about building structures, which is a simple process of drawing lines to form struts within a build zone surrounded by an orange border. Struts can then be converted into roadways for people and vehicles to move across. Now at first you're only able to build using wood, which isn't the strongest material, but it gets the job done. But further into the first chapter you also gain access to cables, which can help hold structures up or suspend them in the air, and steel, which is much stronger than wood and great for forming supports. Most of the game's levels will see you combining all three of these materials to create your structures, and the game affords you plenty of freedom to get creative with your builds. Now each build zone has tether points marked as orange dots from which to start your structures from, and there's a knack to building bridges as you'll have to support them properly, which is primarily done by forming triangles with your materials. Failing to do this correctly will see them come crashing down on you, and I'm not gonna lie, while the earlier stages are reasonably easy, I still struggled, and I felt the game somewhat expected you to have played the previous games and know the basics, although there is some additional guidance within the constructor guide which is very useful. Now each material you place costs a specific number of points, and the total points spent can be seen in the top left corner. Next to this is a point limit which challenges you to complete the level using less than the specified points, and if you manage to do this you'll earn a shiny gold sheriff's badge for your efforts. I personally didn't earn many of them as I went over the limit in most levels by creating abominations like this, so I advise you don't copy any of the bridge designs you see in this review. So in addition to structure building, the tutorial teaches you how to use the weight of materials as counterbalances on objects such as containers, and it also teaches you how to issue commands to survivors, and as with building this is a simple process. Levels containing survivors feature waypoints which the survivor will automatically run to. Upon arrival the game will then pause, and you can then select a direction in which you want them to move to next, can order them to climb up or down ladders, or operate switches and levers which control mechanisms within the level. In many of the game's levels you need to utilise your survivors to complete different objectives, and you'll often have multiple survivors to issue different sets of commands to. Now each survivor also comes with their own special abilities, and these include guns which can be used to shoot and destroy certain objects or wooden materials, grenades which can be used to blow stuff up, and a talking doll which attracts zombies to it, allowing you to guide them to a designated squishing zone. So while I haven't played previous Bridge Constructor games, I have seen playthroughs of a couple of them, and as you'd expect, most of the gameplay appears to be focused around building bridges. Now while the Walking Dead Bridge Constructor sees you building your fair share of bridges to provide safe crossing and ramps to create jumps to launch vehicles across ravines, it also does a very good job of incorporating the Walking Dead universe into its gameplay by implementing the survivors and zombies into the majority of the game's levels. While completing constructions is still a core gameplay element and it's a challenge in itself, you also have the added challenge of issuing correct commands in the correct order to ensure survivors make it to the exit zone safely. and I enjoyed running through multiple simulations, slightly tweaking characters' actions and movements, or my structures, and there's a real sense of achievement when you get all the timings spot on and get to sit back and watch things unfold exactly as planned. When it comes to the game's level designs, I thought the devs did a really good job of keeping gameplay fresh, with the various objectives and scenarios offering their own unique challenges. There are plenty of levels featuring your standard bridge construction scenarios, more unique levels such as one which requires you to gently guide explosive barrels to an endpoint, and other levels where you need to kill plenty of zombies in order to complete them. I felt there was some good balance between levels featuring vehicles and those where survivors were on foot, and the game's difficulty felt pretty consistent throughout. While things do start to become a bit more challenging as you head into the game's 4th chapter, things never felt unfair, and each time I failed it was down to my own shoddy craftsmanship or my timings being off by a few seconds. Now, taking a look at the game's visuals, they've gone for a sort of low poly aesthetic which won't wow you, but the game also doesn't look bad. We get some decent detailing and variety to the game's environments, which see you travelling through internal and external cityscapes, rural farmlands and mountainous regions, and the character models in the cutscenes are also fine, though for some reason everyone's got a massive chin in this game. Audio wise, we get some standard crashes, bangs and zombie moans, and the game's music is also pretty good, and it also features a version of the iconic Walking Dead theme tune, which I thought was a nice touch. So in all, I had a really good time playing Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead, despite me spending about 40 minutes on one of the game's levels, and after playing this game I really want to give the Bridge Constructor Portal game a go. What I will say though is that if you're just looking for the classic bridge building experience, then I wouldn't really expect it from this game, as commanding your survivors also plays a big part and adds an additional element for you to puzzle through. So now let's get on to rating the game. Now I rate games between 1 and 5 stars, with a shovelware stamp of approval reserved for the worst games on the eShop. This rating is based on my own personal opinion on the quality and quantity of a title's gameplay, and whether I think it offers value for money to potential buyers. For a rating, I'd give Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead 4 out of 5 stars. The game offers a fresh take on the classic formula, presenting new challenges to Bridge Constructor veterans, and there's a decent amount of content with 5 chapters for you to work through, especially if you're looking to get a gold badge in every level. While the storyline itself isn't much to write home about, I'm sure fans of the series will no doubt enjoy seeing cameos from some of their favourite characters, and squishing plenty of zombies along the way. Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead releases on the 19th of November, and you can get it from the UK Switch eShop for £11.99, or from the US eShop for $14.99. Alternatively, the game's also available on Xbox, PlayStation, the Apple and Android app stores, and Steam. Well, that just about wraps up this review, so if it helped you out, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I want to say a big thanks to my patrons for their ongoing support, it's really appreciated, and you can find a link to the Star or Shovelware Patreon page in the description box below. Finally, make sure you subscribe to the channel to be notified of future Nintendo Switch reviews and content, and consider joining the Starseekers Discord server to become part of the community and enter into giveaway draws held only on the Discord. For now though, I just want to thank you all once again for watching, and until next time, take care and game on.